All right, guys. Well, congratulations on winning second place. This is group 13, right?
Yep.
And I have a series of questions to ask you guys. And this recording is going to go on the website for the second place team. So just to let you know, it will be out there. All right, we're going to start with the first question. How did your team come together?
Oh man, well, I guess I'll start out. I guess we had joined not super early in the process, but we were interested in doing the competition, and so I believe we were connected through you, Professor, and you guys had redirected us to a group together. And then funny enough that neither of us are actually in the same major, so we're super glad that it worked out the way it did, and I think we all learned a lot of useful materials about Salesforce.
All right, so are you in one of my Java classes? Is that what it is?
I had been in one, but yeah, I'm in the information systems program. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, the next question. So what made you join the competition? Although I think you alluded to that just now.
But I think I'll let Parker speak on that because I'm actually curious to hear what his answer is.
So in one of my classes, they just sent out something about the competition. They're like, if you guys want to join, here's the link and everything. You can join as a solo person. So that's why I joined, because like I don't have any teammates. So it's cool I got in. But also they said they dropped my lowest lab score if I did it. So to be honest with you, that was one of the main reasons. So
all right, so a little extra credit opportunity.
you never know. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the same for me. I'm in Chong O's class that he's teaching, and he just said that he dropped the lowest lab, and he sent out his notification.
All right, well, that's great. So what were some of the challenges that you had during the contest?
I would definitely say trying to get used to the program, because when we opened it at first, it was really overwhelming with what we could do and what we couldn't do. So we started out just sticking with straight messages, like not even questions or anything. And so we built like kind of a framework around that. And then we realized we could do things so much easier if we started linking stuff together. We didn't really get into that until like Wednesday in the competition, which is, we had like a day or two till the deadline. So we kind of started figuring out near the end and put in some hours at the end, figured out all those systems. And it was a lot easier once we learned all the processes, but learning that was definitely the hard part.
No, I think having a mentor too is a big impact on the final outcome too. I think TJ gave us a lot of good insight.
Okay, so you made use of the Salesforce team as far as getting help. That's great.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for sure. All right, next question. And just so you guys know, we're asking these questions to all the teams. Are you happy with how your chatbot turned out?
Yeah, I thought it was. I'm pretty happy with it. I just wish that we were able to do more in the way of the translation work. That's one thing that we put down, that's something we wanted to implement more and have more to do with that. But overall, I feel like the chatbot was really good.
Well, that leads to the next question is, what improvements would you have made to your chatbot if you'd had more time?
Well, I think actually just looking at like the final outcome with how the placement went and showing off first place. I think like adding utterances was a big part that we covered in our presentation, that being able to implement more logic through that utterances, because the benefit of Salesforce and their Einstein chatbot system is that the utterances will help redirect the user towards the best possible dialogue. So obviously adding as many of those as possible would have been a great addition if we were to actually implement this. But on top of that, like we'd cover with the translation, it would have been great to be stress that inclusivity part, but also alongside a more emotional bot with more emotional responses, which was shown with like the first place winner. So
I'd also throw in that we had a couple of forms that you could fill out throughout the bot, and it'd be really nice if we could go through and just change one aspect of those forms instead of having to resubmit the whole form. That's one thing that I noticed I would really like to improve if I had more time.
All right. And then the last question I have on the list, then we can go into a general discussion. Would you recommend that other students participate in this challenge next year?
yeah, Of course.
Especially if you're not in actual IS. Like I have an accounting background. I have no experience really in IS, and it was still fun, still something you could do. So I think everybody, regardless of major, should do it.
And
I
how
think
do
it's
you,
a good way to get
Better.
into the information systems program for sure, because this is just one aspect. And if you turn out to that you enjoy it a lot, then yeah, you should give information systems a try.
all right. And for your guys' presentation, did you feel it went well, or did you think you could, if you did it again, you'd make some changes?
I think we killed it personally.
It's probably one of the biggest reasons we actually got second place. It's just our presentation.
Yeah, I
Wow.
thought it was really thorough and in depth. I think the only thing we could have changed was maybe hit the time limit a little bit better, but that would have been just through more practice. So that'd be my advice.
Yeah, did you guys practice before to
Oh,
test time? Okay.
Yeah, about 1 or 2 times. But if we wanted to do 5 or 10, maybe we could have gotten it under that, 10-minute mark exactly. So
All right.
So you meant to say that you won just because you have your presentation skills has nothing to do with your ability to do the bot.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
It was my beautiful face, I think.
yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Well, Brandon, do you have any comments, or Chong? You guys have anything you want to ask them?
I do. I'll let Dr. Chong go first.
Well, I just want to say good job. Thank you for being such awesome students and take the initiative to put in the extra effort. I know this is something outside your class stuff, but hey, this is what makes you a better student and a better candidate for your future jobs.
That's awesome.
Hope so.
It is so. It's
definitely
not
will.
hope so. It is so.
Okay.
True. Yeah.
I can't wait
You're
to talk about it
questioning
with the
Dr.
employer.
Chong, really?
How about you, Brandon?
I'm curious. I think I have a couple questions. One is maybe a little bit open-ended too. Based on this, like how much did I assume, but correct me if I'm wrong, that none of you probably had much awareness of Salesforce going into this. So I'm curious, like, did this make you, have you now considered, are you got Salesforce on the radar as a career option? And if so, have you already looked into it now as a profession? And if you have, do you already kind of like, I'm just curious where that might take you in the future. And if not Salesforce, I'm still curious, like what kind of roles are you thinking about for your careers?
For jobs, I'm gonna be honest, I never really had Salesforce on the radar. I knew them just because their stock's been interesting in the last couple of years. So I'd heard of them before. That was one of the reasons I joined, just kind of see what they were like. But after doing this, it'd be cool to go into a career. I've got like the tab open right now to check out the internship. I've been going through that the last couple of days, making sure I can have everything set up. But I'd be interested for sure.
Yeah, I guess I'll lead on to that. I actually want to do something in administration, whether that's networking, databases, or Salesforce after college. So this got me more personable with a feature that Salesforce has. So I'd be interested in exploring like the certification and any internships that would come along with that. Yeah, it's definitely one of those jobs that I wouldn't mind test driving, I suppose.
Yeah, personally for me, still, since my degree is in accounting, I probably have not thought about looking into Salesforce very much or at all, but it is something that it's a good experience that I got to at least see what the company was about, though.
Cool. One of the reasons I asked that question is because I believe that the way of the future careers that we're going to start seeing are going to be like these polyglot careers. So I really believe that we may get a skill in college and we may end up doing something professionally quite different that has connections to that skill, but isn't what we thought when we came out of college. Like I attended CS. I'm a Java programmer by trade. but my career today is like I'm a manager of a Salesforce team. It's a small team, but so I just, I just find it interesting to see if the younger generation coming up is kind of thinking like that, or if you're still kind of thinking how I thought when I went to college. And I think it's just going to get more and more polyglot. I think that professionals over time, we're going to see more professionals who are not professional developers learning and using code in ways to help their career. And I was wondering next year, because we're trying to think about doing this again next year. This was the second time we've done it. And so we still have a lot of lessons learned. What would you suggest that we keep that you liked? What would you suggest we change? And is there anything that you think we should consider adding?
I guess I'll go hit on a point for that. So I did the game day analytics competition last year. And I think not only the judges, but also the students were in agreement that a 2-week period would probably be ideal. I know that the cash prizes and then also the intensity of this competition is probably not on the level and open-endedness that game day analytics can entail. But I think with a lot of us being full-time students, that sometimes adding more time would be beneficial, just being able to work on it, especially in our case, because we could have probably looked more through utterances and stuff like that. But I know that increases the skill gap too. If you have more time to work on it, you should expect more. So I assume if you increase the time, you should also increase the requirements. That's my thought.
Still doing chatbot or adding more other skills to it?
Well, I mean, if it's in regards to Salesforce, like I said, with seeing first place and how she was able to publish a website, it would be awesome to cover other parts of the Salesforce experience, because I bet this is such a small portion of it. If you guys were able to do workshops and such like that, showing off the other sides of the software functionality, I think I would love to compete in those parts as well. Plus, I assume that you had best functionality, best dialogue, and such like that. If you were able to diversify into those other aspects of Salesforce, I bet you could expand the prize pool to cover more of the competition. Let's say.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Mhm.
We could introduce case management, community portal, knowledge, and different aspects. Yep, that makes sense.
Hey, Kara, I see that you've joined. Do you have any questions for our team?
Not specifically. I think Brandon already covered kind of the questions that I had coming into it. So I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have, though, about, working at Salesforce. I know, Stephen, you mentioned that you're an accounting major. I was a marketing major. Obviously, I don't have a technical role at Salesforce, but there's still a lot of technical aspects to even the role that I have. So, yeah, happy to answer any questions you guys might.
Awesome. Well, I mean, yeah, if you wanted this on the recording, I guess my only thing would be, what is some advice for a potential student looking to get an internship anywhere in the country in terms of Salesforce? How would we maybe apply to your program, or other programs that you sponsor? That would be a great opportunity.
Yeah, so there is that Future Force website, and you know what, Cody Brown and the Career Services at that school should have the information on that, and that's specifically the Salesforce internship program, but with the Salesforce as a company. But the Salesforce ecosystem is so vast that there are really opportunities all over. Even locally, there's several implementation partners. I know of one called SaltClick. There are also some, companies that have basically what we call apps in terms of solutions that are built off of the Salesforce platform. And even there's local ones like Halo Site and things like that. So honestly, I would get on LinkedIn and do some digging around. Like there is a user group. I actually know there's someone down in Lehigh that like sponsors the Salesforce kind of local user group. And those can be a huge wealth of information. And then in addition to that, we have our Trailhead website. So one, I would utilize that to its fullest in terms of skilling up, especially if, Salesforce is, in your realm of possibility or thought going forward. So use Trailhead. It's completely free. There is so much information on there. And the lessons are really well curated, I think. But then within that Trailhead, we have our Trailhead community. There's blog posts and all sorts of things. And that is also a great way to kind of network within the Trailblazer community and potentially connect to opportunities that way.
That was a good idea to mention Trailhead, Kara. That's actually part of my team's internship program is I push those guys to go through the administrator Trailhead course of lessons. It's about 70 or 80 hours of lessons, and then some self-study. They typically self-study for about a month and then go sit for the exam. The exam is not terribly expensive. I want to say like $200. And my hope is get them out of college. They already have their Salesforce admin certification. And right now that's a pretty hot commodity in the Salesforce world. And Kara, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you have that cert, you're going to be a candidate for almost any role for Salesforce.
Yeah, and in fact, this week was our big annual conference, and they usually highlight, a story. And in fact, the story they highlighted was about a refugee who had to leave her country and move to the Netherlands, and she had been trained as a pharmacist in her country of origin. Anyway, long story short, she found a job after becoming certified as a Salesforce admin and is extremely successful now. So there's tons and tons of stories along those lines to kind of echo Brandon's point. You can become a Salesforce admin and immediately, get a really great job out of college. I mean, hopefully you have a broad range of skills coming out of college, but it's just one more thing to really, set yourself apart.
And it's like that entry-level job may or may not be an amazing paying job to start out with if you don't have experience, but by getting the experience after you get the cert, like this, I mean, there's architects that make like 200 grand.
Yeah.
Salesforce architects. So.
That makes sense. I appreciate all that information. I'll definitely do some research and work on Trailhead. That seems like a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's great. They even use it for our internal employee enablement onboarding. So it's, good platform.
200 grand, I should switch my switch job.
Yeah.
Sign up for some Salesforce exam soon.
There you go.
I got to go. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks,
all the best.
Sean.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, well, that's pretty much all I've got. We got our questions, and folks got to ask you guys some stuff. You got to ask us some stuff. So I think that's all we have. So again, congratulations on winning second place in this contest. And we look forward to hearing from you guys in the future.
I have one
Thanks.
question.
Yep.
If you guys have any interest in participating in a Salesforce internship program, I can't guarantee anything. I don't have an open spot. But feel free to reach out, send me your information, and I will keep your names on file.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Brandon.
Thank you so much.
Great job, guys.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. I wish I wasn't a senior so I could come back and try it again, see what you guys do with the competition. But I'll definitely check out the website, and hopefully you'll publish, with the game day analytics, you publish the winners. So I look forward to seeing that next year. So.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys, for participating, and congratulations again. Have a good evening.
You too.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you.
Sure.
See ya.
Bye.